Hi, I'm Lucy McNeely here, and I'm here to present my 1-hour technology workshop that I did over high-tech strategies. My administration came to me in response to some state requests as far as our responses and data assessment with RTI, and if I could come up with 3 high-tech strategies that we could present to the faculty that would be able to align with the state expectations of the different assessments that we're doing and the data that we're collecting. So with that being said, I'm going to use the rubric here as a guide for the 1-hour technology workshop, and I'm going to use that to guide me through this presentation. The first thing is the handouts. That's the criteria, and it asks to use 3 or more handouts to support the learning objectives of the lesson. Easy to use, well developed, with accurate content. I have my high-tech strategies Google site that I use to present the information to the faculty members. And within there, I'm going to show you some of these quick handouts that I created. I also found a lot of good handouts that I just did quick links to. But I'm going to show you the ones that I actually created. Here's a teacher-made handout on Kahoot, telling them how to, set up their account and then how to go from there. I made one also, for Plickers, which was one of the high-tech strategies that I demonstrated to the faculty as well. Here we go. And then I also did another one for Plickers just to kind of help. And here it is right here. And then, like I said, I did have some quick links to some more information if they needed it. We'll go back to the rubric. Your online component supports the learning objectives of the lesson. It's easy to use. Google Sites, all of the faculty members are very familiar with Google Sites because we're expected to have a teacher classroom online. So it was easy and for them to navigate. It's well developed with accurate content, no broken links, both recaps and extends participant learning. Content aligns with the lesson plan. So I will go back to, this was the online component. Like I said, the administration did come to me, so we reviewed really quick about what RTI was, what the expectations of the State Department was. We talked about some interventions that we probably already had in place that were research-based interventions that we were kind of already doing with our students, and it was just a quick overview. And then I went into the 3 high-tech strategies, which were Kahoot. It was definitely an online component. All of this stuff is here for them, and even has quick links at the bottom of each page to take them to the actual strategy, online strategy, or Web 2.0 tool, so they could go there. Let's see. We will scroll on down. The workshop lesson plan is included. I'll show that to you really quick. If you come over here, the lesson plan loads up right here. Has all of the objectives. It has the materials. It has the standards, as well as the procedures and dealing with the assessment as well. But you also wanted to include 2 additional more elements in that. YouTube link to face-to-face instruction. I did include an instructional agenda. I did include an audio file, which I'll show you in just a second, that was unable to be able to link to the new Google Sites, but I'll show it to you just in case, and promotional flyers. So I will show those to you really quick. The agenda was right here on the same page. Here's the agenda. It gave them a welcome, told them that they were going to get to be in the seat of a student today and actively participate. It told them what they're participating on and reminded them at the closing that they would fill out a survey on the effectiveness of the PLT. I also had, just as an extra, here's our Friday, we get weekly letters, and it's our Friday letters that go out to faculty and staff. And here was the announcement of that comes back from our principal. And Then here is my flyer that was inviting everybody to come. Like I said, I do have a place on here for the audio file. However, Google Sites is really funny about their new technology, and they are unable to connect that now. So let me see if I can get to that audio file right here. Just let you listen to it for a second. All right, so from there, we will go back to our workshop evaluation instruments, the next part on the rubric, and it wants to know that the questions address 3 of the levels. And if you go to my site and you come right over here to more, you can go to, go to evaluation, and you can view the strategies that I used, and you can actually view the 5 questions that I asked as well. And then you'll see down here, the bottom part is the workshop and evaluation data and narrative. We did include a table of results, but I also changed those into an easy to read bar graph and a pie chart so that it was incorporated a little bit more. And I will show you that really quick. You come right here to more, go to narrative and data. Here's my narrative over how I felt my workshop went. I felt very successful about it at the end. Here is my data. In my narrative, I present that I felt like the workshop itself was very successful because teachers got to role play as students, and they actually got to function with the high-tech strategies such as Plickers and Kahoot and GoFormative, which were my 3 different assessment tools or high-tech strategies that I was demonstrating. I felt like they really got to be able to put their role-playing hat on and become the students and see it in a perspective of the student, but also have the knowledge base of the teacher and how that tool can be used. Just like I said, a quick review. The Kahoot right here, I included a YouTube, technology at its best. Let's see here. All right, just a quick review. Kahoot right here, I included an instructional video. It's a YouTube video that's actual from the producers and programmers of Kahoot and how it's used in the classroom. It just kind of was an activating strategy per se. I demonstrated, or I showed the handout, and then I actually went through and made the teachers sign in as students and showed them how that could be used and be effective in the classroom. Then I showed them about the data and the different types of data that they could get and what they could use and how they could use that to guide their instruction further there. And then, like I said, at the bottom of each page of these 3 tools, I also included their quick links. That way they wouldn't have to go around looking for them everywhere. Plickers was the next tool that I used. I also included an instructional video from Plickers itself. That's a YouTube link. I had the teacher-made handout here. I also had a linked PDF that I was able to find, and then I had another teacher-made handout right here. I also once again explained how that data and RTI could be aligned to help prove to the State Department that we indeed are doing our part. Instant item analysis, detailed analysis, and I showed them how they could incorporate that data. And then once again, resources, I gave them quick links so that they could log in really quickly. GoFormative was the 3rd tool that I used. Once again, I set it up very easy to use so that it was in the same kind of design as each one of the previous sites. GoFormative, YouTube link to and from GoFormative themselves, how to get started. The GoFormative is so detailed. I just did a quick link for that. I already had my 3+ handouts, and I felt like the information from the GoFormative website itself would be a lot more helpful. But we talked about the different types of data, and I made them actually sign on to a fake test that I created, and they were able to answer some of the questions from there. We talked about the work samples that you could view. We talked about item analysis and live feed. We talked about the individual data reports. And then once again, the resources down here, we have the quick link. So in a nutshell, this was my 1-hour technology workshop. It was over 3 high-tech strategies that could help give data for RTI purposes. And those high-tech strategies were Kahoot, GoFormative, and Plickers. And like I said, we role played with all of these within the workshop. Teachers really were excited, and I think sometimes overly excited, but at least they were really, you could tell that the wheels were turning of how they could apply that within their classroom. So underneath my narrative and my data, I did, document that even through the evaluation data, they were really excited about how they could implement this in their classrooms.